people see. So yeah, okay. But I think we can start. I think let's start. Okay. So welcome everyone. This is our fourth Master Designers event in this row, and we are very happy that you are here. And so first, I would like to introduce ourselves, who we are. So please start.
Yes. Okay. My name is Norbert Horváth. I am the CEO of Stefano and founder of Master Designers.
Yeah.
Silvia?
Hi everyone, my name is Silvia Bugner. I am the curator of this event series with Vesta Home.
And my name is Monica. I am your host today. Yes, so for those who are here for the first time, let me tell you what Master Designers is about. We have created this place for those who would like to inspire each other, for designers to connect globally, and to create this space where we can start a discussion about different topics. So we hope you will enjoy it and learn something from this. Now, as a new thing, I would like to share you our website with because it's a new thing, and we started this month. Let me present you. It's masterdesigners.com. You can see news about our designers, our latest and future events. We will provide you articles about designers and companies we work together, our partners, the next events and other projects we are going to do in the future. So we hope many of you will join and follow us for other content. And now I would like to get back to the event. Yes. Thank you, everyone. I think we can start our presentation. And today's guest, as you already know, is Stefano Giussani, head of Listone in New York, and I will give you the floor. Thank you, Stefano, for being here today with us. Please, it's all yours.
Okay, buonasera, ciao, benvenuti tutti, welcome everyone. And yeah, for me, it's lunchtime here in New York, as you can see from the windows, you know, which is not that dark as is probably there in Hungary, as is in Milano or whatever. And thank you for the invitation. I think it's very interesting for me to be part of this format, you know, that you are launching and you are promoting, you know, in order to promote design. Can you hear me right? Yes. Design also for young designers, you know, for emerging designers, you know, for your audience that I know is composed by different people, you know, but most of them are new designers that are approaching the world of design, you know, or are simply passionate to design. So I'm Stefano Giussani, as you said. I'm Italian. I was born in Milano, and I live in New York since 6 years now. So maybe I prepare some images for you, which I hope will be purely inspirational for you. Today, we're gonna talk about my experience, you know, in the field of design worldwide. And I hope that it can be inspirational for the people who are gonna follow us. So maybe if you can share the file, Monica, I think it will be perfect. So yes, I can. If you can put full screen, will be better.
Yes. Just a second.
Please. Control L.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And here, I would like to take it, I wanted to keep the presentation really easy and simple. And again, just to show you an evolution, of my career in 20 years. And as I said, could be hopefully inspirational for someone. As I said, I was born in Milan, and I studied in Milan, as you could see from this nice, horrible picture of me when I started university at Politecnico. And maybe you can go to the next one, not to embarrass me a lot. And I was studying at university in Milano. After Politecnico, I did the Scuola Politecnica as well. And is the place where I met Piero Lissoni. So I met Piero Lissoni was one of my professors, at the Master in Interior Design. And everything started from there. Sorry, I don't have the control of the screen. So if you can follow and change the pages, it will be great. So then I start to work at Piero Lissoni office in Milano, Lissoni Associati. For me, was a dream, as per many of the people who are watching us today, that, after university, you would like to try, to see how is the real world, of architecture and design. And I was working, my very first design at Lissoni was designing a bathroom. So my very first design was a bathroom. I think that bathroom, to me, was the best bathroom in the world, because I put all the skills I learned at university, and I designed in 20 million options, to make it like, really a palace to me, but that was really interesting. But after that, suddenly, I was very curious and interested in learning a lot, from the people I was working with. And suddenly I found myself on a plane to Tokyo. So the very first real experience out of Milan was flying to Japan, to Tokyo, following a project that I was working on as the really junior designer. And suddenly, by several aspects, I found myself there in a completely transported, completely another world, and I was there alone, and I had to put, my energy, at the service, representing also the firm I was working for. And after Japan, many things happened. For 10 years, I was working in Asia and traveling everywhere, and which sometimes I miss a lot, Asia, and working in many projects, on many projects we did all around the world, with Lissoni. I have to say that maybe beside the Salone del Mobile, because we did, and we currently Lissoni is designing many exhibitions during the Salone del Mobile. Hopefully, we're gonna have another edition soon due to the pandemic. But beside that, I think I never done any project in Italy. I've always worked on foreign projects. So that to me, I think was really crucial for my career, because it's where I learned so many things. Being in contact with many cultures, many people from all over the world. And I tried to keep, with me, what I was learning, during the experiences all around the world. The symbol here, one-to-one Piero Lissoni exhibition in San Francisco, is, let's say, the starting point of Lissoni, New York. So that's why I put this image, because after working for many years in Asia, I was with Piero in San Francisco, where we launched this exhibition, presenting our design philosophy, to the American market and American audience, I have to say, more than market. And over there, we decided that maybe it was the time to move to America, and to do things properly. And if you change page, and then we decided to establish Lissoni in New York, New York, because of course, in New York, I don't have to explain anything about it, but New York is really another hub. If Milano is the center for design, New York is really the center for many developments, on the other side of the ocean. And so New York became our hub. And from New York, we cover all the Americas. We have projects in Canada and down to Argentina and everything in between, Brazil, Mexico, and all the United States, which are already big enough, to to keep us busy. And so we decided to establish our headquarters here in New York, which, as you can see in that picture, is exactly where I'm seated here now. The team here is exactly the same philosophy we have in Milan. So we have a multicultural team, a multidisciplinary approach. So we design everything from the object up to the skyscraper. And today I put together some images of projects we did and we're doing all over the world. And so we brought our Italian, I would say European school, you know, into a new world. And that was really, really interesting, you know, as a point. If you can go, yeah, the Lissoni design approach is really, as I was saying, you know, listen to what the world is suggesting us, listen to all the people, look at every environment, respect the place where we are, you know, and declare it in all our projects. And I have to say the first thing I did when I moved here to US was translating the way I was seeing things. I always say that I bought an American pair of glasses, you know, because the one I had were Italian. So I was keep seeing in Italian, you know, so I had to change it into American glasses because the cultures, you know, are different. You know, our culture in Italy is completely different from the way we perceive things and design in United States, and not only. And so I had to translate, not literally, you know, our way of seeing things and the way that things are being seen here in US. If you go to the next page, here is really an essence, you know, of the project we are doing all over the world. You know, as you see, we have project in US, project everywhere, more or less, but there's a silence, an invisible ribbon, I would say, that match all together. That is the influences that we got, you know, and we get, you know, from every place we work with. So we have a very clear design direction, a very clear philosophy in designing spaces and architecture. But at the same time, we always listen where we are, and we always try to enhance, you know, the beauty and the inputs that we receive from every country we work with. And maybe you can skip to the next page. Thank you. Okay, here, as I was saying, you know, any scale is not a problem. You know, if you are a designer, you know, and this is a message to the young designers that are following us, you know, I think you choose one of the best profession in the world, I will say, because the design field is so vast, you know, it's huge. You know, you can, being a designer, you can design anything you want, because any scale is not a problem, you know. It's just a different approach that you can put within each challenge, you know, within each adventure, you know, adventure that you are facing in your career. But also the design has inside, you know, the creativity. And creativity, I think nowadays, you know, has to be applied to any aspect of our life, you know, not just creativity in a sense of, okay, combining together materials, you know, or shapes. No. We must be creative also in the way we live, the way we approach things. And I think all of us, you know, we're being hyper, let's say, trained, you know, or approved, you know, during the time we just passed by. And so I think it's really exciting profession, you know, to be a designer.
Sorry, Stefano, can we ask a question?
Please, and stop me anytime you want.
My question would be, like, when you decided to be an architect and designer, and you had some expectations about what projects you will be doing, and what was the most unexpected object or project you needed to design in your career? Do you remember of any, like very surprising, or you would never think as a student, like you will ended up designing something like that?
Well, I have to tell you, first, at the beginning, I didn't want to be an architect, but I wanted to be a set decorator. So I love theater, I love cinema. So that was my passion, I wanted to do that one. Then my father, took me to a couple of good schools in Italy, both for set decoration. We went to Brera, we went to Bologna, and then we went to Milan, and also architecture. And then I saw that many of the set decorators in cinema were architects, so you must be an architect also to build a castle with a princess that is not falling apart, so that was really interesting. And so then I decided to do the to apply for architecture, which are really happy, at the end, it turned out really, really interesting, as I said before. Now, what I didn't expect, well, working with Piero Lissoni and the Lissonian partners, I had definitely the pleasure to be exposed to any type of clients, and any type of client means any type of expectations or wishes or requests, in terms designly speaking, and one of the most I don't know, unexpected was, for instance, designing a cutlery, a furniture just for cutleries, So I didn't know that, there were people with so many collections of cutleries, so forks, knives, and everything else. And so it was being requested, to design a cabinet just for that one. So that was really interesting, I have to say, because then my reference were, I studied a lot, so I learned how many, all the best and the most interesting style for cutleries, because that is a big study, I have to say, that one was really interesting. And, but it was really challenging and interesting at the same time. Otherwise, other projects that brought me really unexpectedly surprised, where, for instance, designing a house that forget the ground floor, focus on the first floor, because the house wanted to be surrounded by palm trees. And the challenge, I mean, the final goal was to build a house that you could hear the noise of the breeze between the palm leaves, all the time, So that was the request from the client. So as you see, from the cutleries up to the palm trees, I mean, this is unexpected, but being a designer is so exciting, because every project is different. You never know what you get. Like the chocolate box.
Yeah. And I've seen that in the audience, Ivan just raised a hand. So I think we can ask what he wanted to ask.
Yes.
You. Comment.
Maybe, yeah. In the meantime, you can go over with the pages. I don't want to talk about, specifically any project. It's just for, because you asked me to bring some inputs, to the audience. So I put together a selection of images, but it's something that here, for instance, the environment is important for us, because nowadays, we want to respect the environment, and respecting the environment means be conscious when you design a project, so instead of maybe generate pollution importing things from the other side of the world, maybe you can get stones or wood, the place where you work with, so that I think is very respectful, for the environment. Or also, if you go to the next page that we call, that gave the title to today, to the talk, Not Lost in Translation, is the fact that every country we were and we are working with, we learn something. So there's a nice anecdote, that we learn, working in China, for instance. One of the projects we did recently, they asked us to use the 80% of product, even more, made in China. And so we weren't ready for that request. So this is also interesting for you, Silvia, and so what we did, we toured China, and we learned so many good places, that are very good in millworker, in porcelain, in ceramic, and we worked together in a common effort. It was really, really interesting. And now using that things in other projects, in other part of the world. So that is really nice. I saw there is a question. I don't know, but I couldn't hear it. Could I read it? Was Ivan?
Yes, Ivan was raising a hand, and I said he can also comment the question if he don't want to interrupt us. But now I think we can give him time.
Please, please. You can tell me whenever I need to answer any question. And here, this page is just to show you that, you know, we follow from the beginning up to the construction. So as Lissoni, we are committed to, you know, to work on any aspects, you know, of the project, you know, just to see our, let's say, design, you know, come true, you know, in that sense.
Okay, Ivan, you can talk if you want to. Okay, it was just an accident. We can go on.
No problem. Go to the next page, please. And we can do very quickly. This is also some project. Oh, no problem. It's going super fast now, but
No, it was an accident.
okay. So those are all pictures. I mean, you're going very, very fast.
I just wanted to go back to the start where.
Okay. No, man, here is just okay that we time to time, and then what I became, you know, working as the CEO of Lissoni New York. I'm promoting the design we do, but also the design approach we have. You know, the Italian approach, the Italian design. And we do. Piero give lots of lectures, you know, around the world, as well as I contribute to nourishing, you know, the New York panorama, you know, with what we do and how we do that, how we do things. So yeah, and here is just a series of projects. You know, you can go, you know, move along, you know, but just to show you different scales, you know, so we can do tower, we design villas, we do resorts, you know, the Lissoni is really 360-degree, I would say, a design approach. So when we design especially hospitality projects, you know, we combine together different disciplines like architecture, then the interior, then the product design, then the graphic design, designing the brand identity of the hotel, also designing the uniforms of the people or the objects inside of the hotel. So I think going again back to your audience, you know, and all the students or the young designers that are listening to us, you know, I think it is very interesting to know, you know, the scale that you would like to put your interest on, but at the same time, you know, keep your eyes and your mind open, you know, because you know, you can design anything you want here. I mean, you know this building. I'm assuming that you know, because it should be not far from you. So it's a current project we are working on, and also this one, you see, creativity was really needed here because is are three buildings connected together, you know, and so it's really kind of complicated, challenging as a project, you know, because each building has its own height, you know, also internal height. And so we are recreating a courtyard in between those three buildings, respecting, as you say, you know, the identity of this place, because it's really special. So also this is really interesting for us, you know, to challenge ourselves, to learn. We studied a lot, you know, the Hungarian culture, you know, the arts and crafts, you know, the collections, and we got inspired by them, you know, also in defining the interior design of the space.
In the meantime, we get a question from Beth.
Please.
How do you navigate the different languages?
I don't know, the different design languages, the different languages. I'm a passionate of language. That is a point, you know. And then I'm not a shy person, as you can maybe see. And so I always try, you know, why not? I guess, you know. So if I travel to Brazil, you know, I guess, you know, how we can become, you know, friend, or maybe you learn, you know, the bare minimum words, you know, vocabulary that you need. You know, when I went the first time in Japan, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation, I didn't know a word of Japanese, you know, and it's really another word. And so we Italian, we use hands a lot. So when we talk Italians, I'm trying to hold my hands here, because living 6 years in the United States, I'm learning to control my hands. Otherwise, Italians, use a lot of hands. So that may be the answer for the person who asked the question. Or maybe sketches, drawing is an international language, so how to explain things, fantastic. Pencil, a piece of paper. So drawing, and showing what I wanted, so that is also another universal language. Drawings for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
And those are other projects, again, that I think show you, if you look at by a distance, the way we design things, and you put all the pages you are scrolling, all together, you can perceive, a kind of common line, even though here we are in the Emirates, the previous one we were in Budapest, the other one we were in Miami. So each one is linked to the environment. That is for sure something we believe a lot in. And also the environment, it brings you to be creative, because 50 degrees in Dubai, also the material that you're using there are gonna melt. So we want, in order to achieve the design you are showing now here, it was really challenging, but also very interesting for us, because we studied a lot, the technicality, I would say the materials, the glass, the concrete, the wood, in order to last, long into this harsh environment, and providing us the design that you're seeing here. Please.
I have another question. Like when you and Lissoni in New York and designing any project, or even Lissoni itself, in the other corner of the world, or even in New York, you following the execution of the project, or it's like you just need to make the local architects to understand how you're working, and you just sometimes checking it?
Well, to be very practical, and I thank you for the question, because now we can shift more in a professional world. So before it was more inspirational for, let's say, students or young designer. So now we're shifting more in the professional aspect of it. So yes, so let's say that in every place we work, we definitely need a good reference, to work with, because we can't be prepared to any single law around the world, so we definitely need part of our team, a local architect, as you mentioned, that knows exactly, what are the rules, and the things that need to be respected in each part of the world we are working with. And that is the same as in China, in Japan, in Korea, here in the United States, or everywhere. So we definitely want to establish a good relation, with the local architect, but we always control the process on it. So with Lissoni, we deliver the design development package with everything, all the information in it. That stage we do already with the local architect, on board, because we want him to give directions in terms of what is allowed to do, what to be respected, and so on and so forth. After that, the construction documentation set instead is something that the local architect is leading, is going to lead, so they're going to develop, but Lissoni will review their construction documents, at specific stages of the production. And then when it comes to the construction administration, instead, we do weekly meetings, or monthly site visits, or anything that is needed, in order to be sure and to ensure our client that the project we designed at the very beginning, at the concept, will be fully executed as he wanted at the very end. So yes, with Lissoni, we follow all the stages, but of course we need the local architect on board. This one, the last part of the presentation I introduce you here is just let's say, and invite you to think about the future, you know, so it's a forward-thinking presentation. So this project, you know, is the project we did for a competition here in New York, which Giussani won the first prize. It was a design competition for the New York City Aquarium, the new aquarium. If you go back one page, sorry, just to
One page, go back.
one page.
Yes, I'm going back.
Okay. Yes, I just put the other earphones because otherwise the battery is gone. So this one, the New York City Aquarium, you know, the first prize winner was a really interesting competition. It was designed in the aquarium opposite the UN, as you can see on the left side of the page, in Long Island City. And so with the Sony, we started from the idea and of the ocean and how the ocean can be explored. So if you go to the other pages, here is a kind of final renders, and I can explain you a little bit better after, but I want you to go forward, you know. This is the contest where it's located. So it's a kind of floating aquarium, you know, into the water. And the next page, sorry. Okay. In the night, we can go back later on this one, but as you can see the sketches, you know, below, you see the shell. So that is everything started from the shell, the idea of the shell. So the two shells, you know, that they are open, you know, the two sides of the shells, the shell. And so how the shell can shift on top of the other. So that was really the very, very first idea. And the point is that we designed this dome, you know, covering the piazza, you know, the plaza. And in the night, if you go back one page now, is working to go back one here. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, the previous. Okay, here, as you can see, the green round that you see in the big renders, you know, is a public park, and is shifting and is rotating, is moving on top of the aquarium. So it's like the idea of the shell, you know, that you are opening and close. So on the public park is the identified this water bay where the people can also play some water sports and something like that. But it's covering up the aquarium. The aquarium is the circular into the water with and it goes down the water. So we built under the water. And when let's say the cover is on top of the aquarium, please go to the other page. I'm sorry, I cannot control. Otherwise, I would avoid to ask you to move back and forth. Yeah. But if you go, okay, here is the setting when the aquarium is closed in the night. So you cover the aquarium, and the underside of this park is going to be a planetarium. So we wanted to project the sky. So the idea was to present the underwater, the ground world, you know, so the environment, you know, with plants, and then the sky. So presenting the three, let's say, steps of the planet Earth, you know, and it was really interesting as a concept. Please go to the following pages. So this one, for instance, is the underground floor, you know, the basement, you know, the first floor, let's say, under the water, with those huge cylinders, you know, with fish inside. So it was really nice, you know, as an approach, you know, as an innovative way of presenting and describing the underwater world.
Okay. I think Beth have a question. She raised a hand, so maybe we can
Please
hear her question. Beth?
Mm-hmm. I cannot hear.
Okay. Beth, if you have a question, please unmute yourself and ask it or comment it.
Otherwise, you can meantime move forward, you know, with another page.
Okay.
Yeah, here as I was saying, so we divided into 3 steps, you know, each cylinder that goes underwater, and describe it in different oceans, a different sea. So I think it was a big study, you know, in order to present, you know, the different environments that you can encounter traveling the planet Earth. Yeah. I think that's it. Or there's another page. Okay, here's the model that shows exactly, you know, the shifting of the park on top of the aquarium. So you can move left and right and create, let's say, this a moving and floating island, you know, in front of Manhattan. Yeah, and this was the end of this.
Stefano, it was just a competition, or it's going to be realized as well?
Well, that was a competition that we won, and it happens, you know, at the time of Hudson Yards. So here in New York. So Hudson Yards was a big development here in New York, and as it happens for that, you know, in order to build something like that, you need to have something around. So the investors, you know, it was really interesting for the for the city because they would like to have it, you know. But when you have a building like that in a professional world, you know, it has to generate. It costs a lot, you know, to build something like that, and so it needs to generate also revenues. So how can you afford to build something like that, you know? Because also the ticket to go to the aquarium is not, you know, crazy expensive. So to support an investment like that, you know, you always need something around, like maybe residential developments or other sort of developments that can help, can support something like that. At the time of the competition, there was already, as I said, Hudson Yard, which is a huge development here in New York, with something in the middle that is also sculptural element. So I think the time was good for that thing. This one is still on, I have to say, because New York is evolving very rapidly. Then the pandemic hit, so and it slowed down a little bit more. So we'll see. Maybe in the future, you know, maybe I'll keep you posted. You know, let you know if it's gonna happen. For sure, we'll be proud of if it's gonna be built.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this maybe you can stop sharing so we can just see each other. Okay.
Okay, like this.
Good. So this is again, I wanted today to present you, you know, what is also let's say an evolution. You know, I was a student, and then what were the steps as you requested, you know, and then I think this is my experience. Of course, many things happen in between because in 20 years, you know, I really met so many people, and now we try to duplicate. We work a lot, you know, with many environments also here in the United States. The country is so big, and America is even more because Canada is something and Brazil is something else. And so we are so happy and excited, you know, to challenge ourselves every time, you know, with something new.
And as our audience is mainly interior designers, architects, can you share some ideas for interior planning as well?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some works that you forward me, you know, that you received from some people in the audience. And the point is that the way you represent a project is also very important, you know, so how you sell your ideas. Because every time, if you put too much, I would say, emphasis on the render views or the 3D views, sometimes are kind of tricky. So from the work you sent me and I saw, the point is that the idea can be expressed also with 2 images, you know, and few sketches, and that's it. So this is what I learned personally, you know, at school and then during the career. The render is kind of tricky. And nowadays I see that 3D renders or virtual reality, you know, is becoming more and more the base. Also for us, also when we present projects, you know, the Sony, we use a lot, you know, that part, but we don't use as at first step, you know, we use it maybe in the schematic design, you know, we don't use at the very, very beginning, because at the very beginning, you have to let, you know, also the client dream a little bit, you know, to find a common alphabet. So the way we normally do is to prepare reference images, inspirational images, mood boards, and the hand sketches. That's for sure. So this is what I can suggest also to the interior designer, is to, for sure, identify their identity, you know, the way they believe things, you know, and after that, you know, communicate that in a very simple way, because this is also very crucial, you know, to not to get lost, you know, also with the clients, because it doesn't need to be fulfill of 20 million inputs, you know, to explain an idea. To explain an idea, as I said, you know, you need really little elements. Then for the interior designers, there's I would say, an enemy that is alive, which is the word trend. You know, what is trendy? What is trend? No. That one, I mean, for me, is not a good friend, you know, because as I was saying before, you must be yourself, you know, and believe in what you believe, you know, and slowly build your own identity. Bringing my example on the table, you know, and the Lissoni example on the table, when we moved here, you know, to US, we had our identity clear to us, of course, you know, with many years of experience, you know, but we believe in certain things, you know, we like to follow, you know, our fixed points, you know, when we design interiors, can be reference from the masters in design from the mid-century, from Japan, Scandinavia, from many places, you know. So we kept that one very strong on us. When we moved here, we didn't modify that approach, honestly, knowing that our style maybe, or our way of seeing things maybe was well received from a little group of people, you know, but we were really confident on that, you know, that we could deliver projects, you know, following what we really believe in. And this is, I think, the same for the interior designer, because the interior designers, you know, are very, have a very important job, you know, they need to transform a dream into something, you know, that the people will live in. And the experience aspect is super important, because the way you treat with the light, the texture, the materials, you know, you can really make the magic, and you can impact the quality of life of people that we live in, you know. Same as the architecture even more, because if you build something, it stays there for a long time, you know. So interior, maybe you can change after a while, you know, but architecture is a little bit more complicated. So yeah, what I would say is to try to identify, you know, what they really love, what they really like, and to have their own identity, and hold it, you know, hold it tight, you know, in order to move forward, you know, with their creativity. Then I don't know.
And can you share some ideas? We're really curious how you started the business in New York, because here it's a lot of designer's question and problem, how to make business out of the design, because you learn it in school, and then you have some project, but when you really want to be a professional, and even you're going to a different country, and you would like to make it a professional business, for sure there are some tricks, and if it's possible to share with us like your thoughts about that, your ideas and some tricks.
Yes.
And tips.
I was thinking about that, you know, also last night, you know, because I remember this was something that you already asked, you know, when we spoke before, you know, today. And yeah,
if possible, we know.
Yeah. No. I mean, if I tell you how to cook spaghetti with tomato sauce, you know, I can tell you use the spaghetti and tomato. That's it, you know. But I don't tell you how long you have to cook, the spaghetti and what you need to put in tomato sauce. I'm joking, but no, I'm happy to share some inputs. The facing a new country is exciting and challenging as well. So what I learned, in the years of my career, is something that I think is something you have inside, honestly, to the need of explore or to get in contact with other people, So every time I was very curious to learn what that country was talking about, was seeing things. As I was saying before, when I changed the classes, when I moved here, that is crucial. I think is okay, maybe it's a stereotype, but is what any designer should do when you move to another country. Because one is the design aspect. So your philosophy, design philosophy must stay what you believe in, which is something like that. But at the same time, is the way you communicate your design philosophy to the other culture, because beside the different language, but is also the perception. So the way the United States perceive the home, the houses, it's completely different from the way people intend in my country, in Italy. So the house in Italy is something, the house in US is completely different, but the attachment to the two things. So first, I would say study the country where you want to go, because you have to learn, from that. Second, understand if there are pockets of market, business that what you like to do can fit in, because of course, if we saturate, maybe is not easy to enter that market. Second, look at your agenda, not agenda, I would say address book, I would say, and you never know who is behind any address, when I had to move here, what I did the very, very beginning, I was interviewing anyone I knew, my parents, friends, my doctor, my dentist, anyone, but not asking, do you know someone to do a job? No. I wanted to learn from each experience how they started their career, how they started a career in dentist, how they started a career in engineer, whatever, anything, and then I was keeping notes of that, and I still have here my booklet, sometimes I go back, and look, it was very inspirational, because what I did, I referred to people that before me challenged themselves, in a foreign country, so that one. Then another thing is to study if there are learn if there are institutions or places that you can get some connection with, like I don't know, maybe the university world can be one, the institutional world can be another, and start to build a network, of connection, because at the end this work is really made with a lot of connections, and it takes time. I have to say, when I moved here, I didn't know anyone, really just few. And then I had to start, I was following events. I mean, for instance, being an architect, I look at the Architectural Association here, that is also a good place to start, because you can meet many other people that do your work and they can give you lots of insight. So yeah, an advice, yes, you should be study the country where you would like to invest, let's say, and see if there are potentials in that market. And to enter is not very complicated, I have to say. Of course, the visa process, all the other things is another matter. But in terms of carving out a pocket for you, to do that, you have to learn how to communicate your project, how to sell your idea, how to put in order that the people will receive it, For instance, I make an example and then I let other questions to come up, but I have two kids, and my little one, we were walking by the city last weekend, and he said, oh, that is, she's 4, so she doesn't read. So I said, oh, that's pizza. Oh, that is, she knew, the places, just by the way they promote things. No pictures, no picture of pizza, zero, just writing, you know. But the way you communicate things, and this is a very basic example, you know, is the way that people perceive, you know, things. So if a country has a common perception of the house, you know, if you come and you land from another planet, you know, presenting their homes in completely different idea, I mean, that one is it may be very complicated. So maybe starting slowly, and with something easy that the people can understand, and then you add one step at a time. You know, this is what I don't know if I answered the question, but this is what I think I could do.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So I think I hope, you know, that my experience, you know, will would be inspiring from for anyone in the audience.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If anyone in the audience have a question, please don't hesitate to ask, raise a hand or send a comment or a question, and we will let you speak or we'll read your questions. And in the meanwhile, I think maybe Stefano, you mentioned some anecdotes and background stories that might be interesting. Can you maybe share one or two with us?
Yes, I mean, also when we talk about design, product design, there is where many things happen, you know, in terms of anecdotes like that. Because if for the architecture is the final work that you try to perceive, you know, when you design a product, you know, over there is a big work of testing, experiencing, you know, try. At the end, you make things happen and you rise the bars. So there are some examples, for instance, with Piero, and Piero designed many products for many brands. As you know, Piero Lissoni is the creative director for many Italian furnitures, and not only, but also foreigners company. And in doing that, there are interesting stories. You know, he always tell one that when he designed a coffee maker, you know, for a famous Italian producer, he designed by shape, you know, so he designed the shape he liked about the coffee maker, you know, so la caffettiera, you know, and that it was very interesting because the design hit with the science, you know, because to make a very good coffee, the shape, yes, but it's not only the shape, you know, because so he designed a beautiful one, very sleek, very tall, you know, and then they tried, they tested, they put the coffee was horrible, really something disgusting. And so then they changed another time, you know, say, no, you have to make it lower, blah, blah, blah. And so I tried another time, and it was also disgusting. So at the end, this old man, you know, working at the company said, listen, you have to respect certain proportions, you know, and I think this is very interesting. Certain proportion, because there was a ton of water, and then the steam, and then the coffee. That one must be respected, you know, because otherwise, if you change that, the coffee is going to be horrible. And so at the end, the final product that is still on the market, you know, is not that tall, it's shorter, a little bit bigger, but the coffee now is very good. So, so this just to say that, you know, the shape, yes, for sure, is important, you know, the design, but also the technology behind it, you know, is even more, because form and function, you know, that was come from another planet, you know, but it's super current. This is definitely one funny story for that, and then instead another one. For instance, we work in India, and we did the restoration of the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel after the attack in 2008, and we wanted to mix, you know, to combine the Italian design with the Indian design or traditional design. And so what we did, we went to visit those warehouses with huge pile of antique furniture, and it was very interesting to pull out, you know, pieces of wood, and we discover facade of buildings, you know, and furniture, and then combine it together we made really interesting new pieces for the interior. So also there, you know, you never know what you get, you know, but over there it was a big work of research, and that brought us very interesting points that we learned from.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the stories. Anyone else? Questions or comments about? If not, what do you think, Stefano? Maybe we can end our discussion here, as if I remember, we included many different topics now and many interesting questions. Yes.
As you like. Yes. To me, it's fine. I mean, again, the goal and the aim for today was to give a hint of our profession, you know, what our profession can be. And our profession, and being a creative profession, can be really anything you like. And so follow your dreams also, you know, and follow your ideas, and you can make really beautiful things, you know, in that sense.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you see it, but we got a comment. Someone said, I really enjoy his stories.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
And next time it will be one of the story from your audience, you know, that will be up.
Oh, yeah.
As you saw, I was a student and now I'm running this office. So it's following purely passion, you know, very committed, you know, I really focus on what I like and what I love. You know, passion is really the engine of everything.
For sure. Yes. Well, okay. Thank you, Stefano, for being here.
Thank you. Grazie mille.
Inspiration and knowledge with us. We are happy for participating. And
thank you.
I thank you for everyone in the attendees who came today to see us. We hope you will follow us and the next projects and events, and will be with us in the future. So if nobody has any more questions or comments, I think this is the end for today. You can see this video and the previous events on our YouTube channel, and we will include the subtitles later. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so
Ciao.
much.
Arrivederci. Ciao. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.